let's go ahead and take a look at a few case studies of message exchanges, both good and bad, and break them down. So first off, I got a couple of message exchanges that were actually sent into me by people just like you. So let's have a look. First off, we have what I call the sex creep. Okay, so let's have a look at this guy here. And his opening line is, "I want to finger you with my penis." Now, let me be very clear. This guy, he's actually an ex-boot camp student of mine, and that's something that I actually say in the field. However, I'll say that to women in the field. But when do I say that? I usually will say that after I've been making out with her in the club, or right before, I've been going along and I'm about to make out with her and I've already expressed a lot of sexual intent. This guy, he misappropriates that, I guess, and uses it as the opener. Okay, big no-no. Now, however, she actually is kind of game to it and she responds, "LOL, I want to suck you off with my asshole." Okay. Then he says, "Oh, dearest, you have set my cock aflutter with your poetry. Do you have a full body or are you just a black and white ass floating through the world? Even though you're just a ghostly silhouette now, I would still fuck you." And she does not respond after that, perhaps unsurprisingly. Okay. Next, we've got an example here of what I like to call the edgy pickup weirdo. The edgy PUA guy who, again, tries to take shit to make himself stand out by being not a nice guy. Okay. And he says, "I want to cuddle your brains out." Okay, that's not terrible. I kind of like that. It's alluding, it's suggestive. She replies, "Your profile is fucking hilarious." Okay, so this looks like it's going well, right? So he says, "Thank you. I don't know any finance jokes, though. Guess this will never work out." I'm assuming that means she's in finance or something. So he's, again, taking stuff from her profile and, improvising like that. So this is good so far. Then he says, "Fuck it, let's get Vegas married. Do you want a fat Elvis or a skinny Elvis minister?" Giving her a choice, multiple choice, she can choose this one or that one. So far, this looks pretty good. Then she says, "Fat, obviously. Watching fat people do anything is way more comedy." So she's engaging here. Then he says, "Yeah, your mom's hilarious. Is she coming to the wedding? Should I reserve 2 seats for her?" So now, this is where he veered off into, because she didn't respond after this. So this is when he veered off into the edgy pickup. It was not necessary for him now to talk shit about her mom. Why did he do this? I have no idea. At this point, I would have simply said, "Oh, sweet, I'm sold. Text me your phone number for romance arrangement purposes." And then he could have set it up right from there. Again, he chose to do a little too much and take the edgy pickup guy persona a bit too far. All right, so let's have a look at the next one. And this is just a bad exchange all around. He's really doing almost everything wrong here. Having said that, let's dive right in. So buckle up and prepare because this one is going to get a little bumpy. Conversation. He starts off with, "Your armpits are obscene and grotesque and sexy and beautiful. I want to nuzzle them with my nose and inhale the scent of a girl who thinks for herself and lick them if you're okay with that." No response from her for 1 day. He then sends, "Those glasses age you like 10 years. She's going to love that. "But Pitt here is awesome. I've had 2 girlfriends grow it for me by request. Yours are super dark and hairy. Don't mean to sound like an obsessed creep, but you do. It's just sexy and not enough girls grow it." She says, "You're disgusting. Stop." He says, "I'm disgusting for praising a feature most find repulsive? Great logic." Her, "I'm a person, not a pile of hair for you to lick. Go read a book." Then he responds, "LOL, objectifying women, guilty as charted." I think he means charged. "I can see your point. It can be hard not to. Online dating is pretty dehumanizing." Again, referring to the fact that he's on an online platform, another big no-no. "But I didn't mean it like that. You're really attractive and interesting, and I figured it was a better opener than, ooh, Daria, I used to watch that. As for books, I like audiobooks. When I read, I'm one of those people whose attention zones out and I have to reread the same paragraph over and over." She then says, "Color me surprised." He responds, "Books are over-romanticized these days. I can understand why that is in the age of the smartphone. Books are familiar and harken back to a time when things were simpler. But the pinnacle of intelligence is not to amass other people's thoughts by reading mountains of text. Then you just become a composite of all that. Intelligence is best displayed, in my opinion, through innovation. What the fuck is this? How is this moving her further along the funnel? He's not being concise. He's saying all this insane shit. Like, he's expecting her to respond to this in some way. He says, I see what he's doing in a way. I think he's attempting to like engage her on a logical level, like get her interest back and forth. That's not what this shit is about. You can do all that crap on the fucking date. Here, you want her to have to exert as little effort as humanly possible in order to respond to you. For her to respond to this, she has to sit there. First, she's got to read this, which she's probably not going to. Then she's got to like formulate some kind of response or even make sense of what the hell is being said. All right? So again, not good. 1 day passes. He then says, can we make up and be friends? A week passes. We're a 92% match, and we had one exchange of words before you started to resent me. OkCupid's matching algorithm is so awesome. 3 days pass. Hey, you charming thing. What you said about being a person and not a pile of hair actually made an impression on me. Turns out I was being a little too objectifying. I wish you wouldn't hate me. 12 days pass. Well, I guess I'm going to read all this. Your Jerry Blank imitation is spot on. You're indistinguishable. I never considered getting drunk at a theater, but last weekend would have made for a nice time to try it. Godzilla in 3D while drunk. I probably would have shit my pants. I'm not much of a drinker myself. My ex got me into Red's Apple Ale. The fruity flavor neutralized the bitterness of the alcohol. I don't see how you can stand gin. That's a man's drink. I wish I knew why you were a lamb sometimes. They're cute animals. True story. The same ex that got me into Apple Ale was Norwegian and had kind of slanty eyes. And when she woke up in the morning, they'd be all puffy, which made her resemble a lamb. So as she was smacking me in the face with her large breasts to wake me up, I'd have her go ba on command. The first ba would be weak at first, since she'd have just awoken, but I'd made her keep doing it until I was satisfied. Like, I'm speechless. Hopefully you understand why this is terrible. It's sex creep. It's way too much. He's not responding. He's investing obviously way too much. She visits my profile that day. He takes note of that. 3 days pass. Don't be mad at me. Let's be friends. She reads it and doesn't respond for a half hour. You ass bandit. Interaction end. Now, that interaction end, that's what the guy actually sent me. Newsflash, bro. The interaction did not end there. The interaction ended like 3 weeks prior to that, when she didn't respond to your like thing about the books being over romanticized. Okay? So again, the program has no room for this kind of shit. He's qualifying, he's over engaging when the girl isn't being non-committal, he's being a sex creep, he starts off the wrong foot, and he's spending way too much time on a girl that simply doesn't respond. There's a lot of terrible, terrible, terrible things going on here. And I just want to, I'm not hating, I'm just saying, this is the way you do not want to approach it. So the next one that we're going to look at is what I like to call the White Knight. And this is, along a similar line to the initial message guys. This is the nice guy, earnest fellow taken into the ensuing conversation. So let's have a look. So this guy, he's been talking to her for a bit already. We're kind of entering this in medias res. So he says, blah, 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 do you like black men at all? She's trolling him a bit at this point to play him along, to get him to say more things, So she says, I'm sorry, I've been so busy. Not to mention, my obese cat died of congestive heart failure, and I'm in the process of planning her funeral. That, and I missed the annual 4th of July sale at Bloomingdale's, and I have to pay full price for shoes I wanted. There's just way too much stress in my life. I only date black men. So then he responds, I am sorry that things are not going your way at the moment. You seem like a nice girl, and I look forward to learning more about you. As I said before, I believe we have a lot to share. There is distance between us at the moment, but we can change that through our interest to share and to talk. I really hope to feel better, and I hope you feel comfortable talking with me. I wish you were with me now, because I would really like to have gelato or a dinner with you. Would you ever visit New York? She says, I don't know. Do you think you could be my Prince Charming? I'm feeling a strange connection with you. My body feels all tingly when I look at your pictures. Has this ever happened to you before? By the way, I opened up a fund in honor of Tubby Love, my kitty. For just 50 cents a day, you can help to fight feline obesity. It would be really cool and kind of sexy if you donated. Just a thought. He says, it is really cute and kind of you how you are having a charity for animals with obesity. I would be happy to donate, and I believe I can be your Prince Charming. The connection we feel is mutual, and that is why I want to stay in contact with you. I imagine time with you would be exciting and fun for us. I would like to do wonderful things for you, and if we can get to know each other better through your communication. It's great that we found each other. I would be happy to learn about all the things you like, and perhaps someday we can share these things together. I am enjoying some great live music in Spain at the moment as I am looking at this beautiful view of a river and a bridge here at night, and I think you would enjoy also. What are some of your favorite things to eat? You seem like a really lovely girl, and I definitely see a future with you if we stay in contact. The distance between us does not have to stop us from anything. Talking with you feels really good, and we have so much to look forward to. If you were in my life, I would do everything I can to make sure you are comfortable and happy. We should really find a way to meet, and I would love to have photos taken with you. Glamour shots, perhaps. With you by my side, I would feel so complete. I really care to know all the small details about you. And from what this girl told me, he just continued on like this. Like look, over-investment. I have to stress that to you. Again, you don't know this person. That just makes it look as though you're extremely desperate, you're very needy. I don't care if you look at the girl and it's your perfect fucking 10. I don't care if you look at her, you read the profile, and she's saying all the exact same shit that you love as well. Do not invest in this manner until you get it at least to the phone. Then you can start to kind of do a little more investment, but still, the guy's qualifying the shit out of himself. He's offering to take her on these adventures. He's envisioning this grand future of them together, and so on and so forth. Now, obviously, this is a very extreme example. And I'm sure a lot of you are like thinking, if you're watching this, you're thinking, oh, I would never do that. But again, look at the tonality being used. You might be doing that on a more micro scale with your stuff, so with your words. So bear that in mind. Now, the next one here, this is one that's actually not terrible. Okay, this one is not terrible. So let's have a look. So the girl actually messages him first. Okay, and she says, hi, so do you have a preferred Steinbeck novel? Now, she's taking something off his profile. So in a situation like this, again, you can dispense with a lot of the nonsense and you can just kind of go for the number. So he says, yeah, Grapes of Wrath. Funny you asked that. I was just thinking about that book today. Have you read it? It's like, I have, in high school, though, so my opinion of it is slightly warped by that. East of Eden is one of my all-time favorite books, and that one is so good it makes me think I should probably reread Grapes of Wrath. And then he says, I'll just read it aloud to you, shirtless from horseback. So that's pretty cool. That's kind of like, depending on how she responded to that, I would probably just go right for the number at that point.